Welcome to CT with CPD podcast. I am your host, Sharon Diggs, and I'm excited to continue with the educational therapy sessions for Wellness Wednesday series. And this week, our topic is something in the water. Take time to water yourself. It is important that we get our daily water consumption every single day. Keeping hydrated is crucial for our health and our well-being, but unfortunately and sadly enough, many of us don't consume enough water each day. Our bodies is about 60% water. The body constantly loses water throughout the day. Every time we go to the bathroom, we're losing water. Every time we work out or we sweat, we're losing water. And then just as regular daily functions, just from breathing, that our body is losing water. So it is important that we hydrate to prevent dehydration. And we have to drink plenty of water every day. Did you know it would not be a CTE with CPD podcast if I did not do some did you know facts? So did you know more than 663 million people around the world do not have regular access to clean drinking water? So for them, the threat of dehydration is ever present and is a huge consequence. The flip side is more than half of the adults in the United States who have access to clean drinking water or water don't drink enough water, because a study that was done from the USDA stated that in the study, they stated that they were either too busy or they forget or they don't track it. Did y'all hear that? We have access, but we don't drink it. So I want to share some other facts about drinking water. Adult humans are about 60% water. Our blood is about 90% water. This is really key because it's a myth when people talk about that, 8 times 8, and I'll talk about it a little bit, drinking 8 cups of water a day, 8 ounces a day. There is no universally agreed quantity of water that a person must consume daily. I'll talk a little bit more about that, how much water we should consume daily, coming up shortly. Water is essential for our kidneys and all of our bodily functions. When we are hydrated or when we become dehydrated, the skin can become more vulnerable to skin disorders. Drinking water is essential, and it is so beneficial to us. Just drinking water. Just drinking water. I think of water as a lifeline. It helps in so many ways, and I'm actually going to share some benefits of drinking water. Water keeps our systems, every system in our body functioning properly. There was a study from the Harvard Medical School review that states that water has many important jobs. 1, it carries the nutrients and oxygen to every cell in our body. It flushes out bacteria from our bladder. It aids digestion. So if you have some digestive problems, you might have to increase your water intake. It prevents constipation. It helps to regulate blood pressure. It lubricates and cushions our joints. It protects our organs and our tissues. It regulates our body temperature. It maintains our electrolytes, which is the sodium balance in our body. It forms saliva and mucus. It helps to boost our skin health and beauty. It is a cushion to the brain, the spinal cord, and other sensitive tissues. I mentioned that it regulated our body temperature. Again, it flushes out all of our waste. So every day when you go to that bathroom, your body's working properly. It helps maintain the blood pressure, as I mentioned, and giving our bodies enough fluid to carry out these tasks mean that we are hydrated. So if you're having any issues and any of the things that I mentioned, it may be because you aren't drinking enough water. And it's so interesting. The first thing, whenever you go and you get sick, the first thing they usually say is make sure you drink plenty of fluids and drink a lot of what? Water. If you don't drink enough water each day, you risk becoming dehydrated. And some of the warning signs of dehydration could include weakness, headaches, low blood pressure, dizziness, confusion. And I know a lot of people don't, but you should. And I'm going to do one on waste next week. So we're doing water this week. We're going to do waste. Yes, we're going to do the dunk in the trunk of the toilet next week. But it's also important to look at your urine, because if it is of a dark color, that is telling you that you're dehydrated or you're not drinking or consuming enough water. So how much water should you drink? That's the question every day. Everybody wants to know, well, how much water should I drink every day? Health experts often recommend, keyword, recommend people drink 8-ounce glasses of water per day. This is commonly known as the 8x8 rule. But however, it does not apply to everyone. How much water we need really depends on a lot of things and varies from person to person. The U.S. National Academic of Science says for men, typically they should do 15.5 cups of water, 3.7 liters a day for men. And for women, 11.5 cups, which is 2.7 liters a day for women. However, there's no particular category. There's no one-size-fits-all answer to how much water intake one must individually consume. So you have to check and consult with your physician, your doctor, if you're not sure about the right amount for you. But even healthy people, the water needs can vary, especially if you're losing water through sweat, if you're taking any diuretic medications where you're retaining water a little bit, because you're outside. Sometimes that's what I tell you when it's hot and it's 100 degrees outside, to stay hydrated. So if you're wondering how much water, again, that you should drink, it is really important that you speak with your physician and your doctor so you can gauge how much is the right amount of water for you. Again, staying hydrated is a daily necessity, no matter what our bodies to be able to function properly. We have to drink water. And again, unfortunately, many of us aren't getting enough water. We're not drinking enough water. So I'll say this: if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. And I said this in a podcast earlier that I did about making sure that you do, I did the wellness check last week, but I also did something in early February about knowing your body. It is so important that you make time for your wellness so that you are not forced to make the time when you or if you become ill. Doing all of the preventive things that I talked about in last week's podcast, wellness checks, drinking water. Water is life. We cannot survive without water. It is a precious natural resource to sustain our health. Water supports all human, plant, and animal life. The bottom line is every mild dehydration can affect us mentally and physically in our bodies. So we must make sure that we get enough water each and every day. Whether it's a personal goal or a different amount, depending on what your physician says or what your body needs, it's one of the best things you can do for your overall health is drink water. It's been a pleasure sharing this educational therapy session with you and having this wellness series to just make sure that we're making sure that our health is our wealth and that we are our number one asset and that we must invest in ourselves. I appreciate and I love all who come and listen and want to grow and evolve, to listen to these educational therapy sessions. Again, I will continue to do wellness checks throughout the month of October on Wellness Wednesday. So we'll come up next week. We'll talk about waste. And I noticed like the taboo to talk about pooping, but we're going to talk about it next Wednesday. So take care. Be blessed. It's been a pleasure. Remember, every single day you have the power of choice, and I want you to exercise your power of choice to live a healthy and fit life.